Hi, welcome to all new and returning viewers. My name is Raquel, and today is Sunday, January 29th. 2 more days, and we're at the end of the first month of 2017. Time has gone by pretty fast, actually. Today is going to be a really short episode. I have a finished object, but I can't show you anymore because I've already handed it in to the client, and I only have one whip that I've been working on since I finished the other one, which was Thursday. And I have soup on the stove, so I have to go check on that in a second. But I thought I'd quickly film this. I will add a photo, or several photos that I took of the finished object at the end of the episode. Which, like I said, it's going to be a really quick episode today. And yeah, there's Soot might make an appearance. The dogs won't because they're at my parents' place, and I might quickly chat about what I did yesterday, but we'll see at the end. So I was working on a tunic, or it didn't really become tunic length. It was just like hip length, more or less. The sweater I was working on that someone commissioned me to make. I used I used Ovelha Negra Olivia in color 57, which is Dove, and I combined it with Rowan Kid Silk Haze in color 653, I believe, and that's, I think the name for that was Shadow. But I'll link all those things in the show notes, so you can check that out if you want. I basically designed my own pattern. I had some, well, the client had some things that she wanted me to incorporate, like the sleeves from like the mellow sweater, so all in garter stitch, and then she wanted a plain stockinette body. And then she had some other requirements that I did, like a squared neckline. I didn't do a full square neckline, I did a bit rounded towards the bottom, and then I decided to do I-cord bind off all the way around. Initially, the client had only bought 3 skeins of the Olivia yarn and 4 balls of the Rowan Kid Silk Haze. But after pretty much getting to the point where I had to separate the sleeves and the body, I knew that the 4 balls of the Rowan Kid Silk Haze were not going to be enough, so I asked Joanna at Ovelha Negra to reserve me 2 extra balls, which I picked up last week Saturday, and I really did need that, the 5th ball. I didn't need the 6th one, but I'm just going to keep it because I have some other leftovers of Rowan Kid Silk Haze, and I have this project in my mind that I really want to do, so I'm just going to keep that for that. And yeah, so I finished, I think last week I showed you, I had 1 sleeve finished, and I was pretty much, I had started the 2nd sleeve. I finished the 2nd sleeve that evening, and then once I picked up the body, that was super fast because while the sleeves were in garter stitch, that meant I had to knit 1 row and purl 1 row. The body was in stockinette, so that was just plain knitting all the way until I got to the hem, and then I did a garter hem as well, so that was knitting 1 row and purling 1 row, but I only did 16 rows, I believe. So even though there was a lot of stitches, it went quite fast. I finished that on Wednesday. I did the same bind off. I used the I-cord bind off on the sleeves, so I did that on the hem as well, and then I picked up the stitches for the neckline and did an I-cord bind off on that as well. And so that was the Wednesday. So then Thursday I picked up my eyeball shawl, which is a shawl by Stephen West, and that I wanted to finish by the end of the month. For my, it actually falls into 2 of the knit-alongs that I'm hosting this year. One of the ones it falls into is the stash busting knit-along. That one's running for the whole year, and for the moment there aren't any prizes associated with it, but I might change that towards the end of the year. We'll see. The other knit-along I'm hosting for the month of January and February is a West-along, so any Stephen West pattern counts. If you're doing accessories, so hats or mittens or cowls, depending on the size of the cowl. The only requirement there is that you have to knit list 2 accessories to count for an entry, because whereas a lot of people are doing shawls or blankets or actual garments by Stephen West, it's kind of unfair to those people if someone just enters a hat, which is really quickly done. So that's the only. There's a couple other requirements that I've put on the forum thread, so you can go check that out. I'm not making a separate FO thread for this. I'm just gonna, or at least that's not my idea for now. If people want that, so let me know if you'd prefer a separate FO thread. If people want that, then I'll create one. At the moment, because obviously my item that I'm knitting does not count for prizes, but at the moment I don't see that there are a lot of participants in this cowl, at least, so we'll see. As for prizes for that cowl, there will be prizes, but it's going to depend on how many people actually participate, and also what I can get done this coming month. I'm planning on setting aside one weekend at least to make a couple project bags, not only for this cowl but also for some upcoming cowls that I'm going to be hosting, and making some stitch markers and all that kind of thing. So I can't show you any prizes for them at the moment, so yeah. So I'll show you my shawl. Last week I think I showed you this last week as a work in progress, and I was about halfway through the first part of section 2. On Thursday I picked this up again. I think I picked it up at lunchtime on Thursday, and because the rows are getting longer, the first bit is quite fast because you're knitting very few stitches, but every 2 rows you're increasing by 4 stitches, so the rows get long quite quickly. And I think at lunchtime I managed to do about 4 rows in like the 20 minutes or so that I have to actually do any knitting. Because my lunchtime consists of me leaving the office. Basically we only get an hour for lunch, but we have a period of 2 hours where we can have lunch. So my lunch usually tends to be about an hour and a half long. So because that includes my driving to and from the office. And if I did that in an hour, then basically I'd get home, I'd have to walk the dogs and then leave straight away to go back to the office, not having eaten any lunch. So I take the hour and a half to be able to walk the dogs, eat my lunch, and then depending on how long the walk took and how long it took for me to eat my lunch, I have some time for knitting. And usually that's about 20 minutes before I have to leave again. So I did that on Thursday, and then Thursday evening I did a whole bunch of rows, and Friday I worked on it in the morning. I didn't work on it at lunch because I had other things to do at lunch, and in the evening I worked on it as well, but I didn't have as much time in the evening because I had some other things to take care of then as well. So yeah, but yesterday I did work on it a bit during the day, not much. I think I got 2 rows done maybe, because I was busy doing other things, obviously. But yesterday evening I got quite a bit done, and this morning, like I said, I'm filming this a lot later than I usually film, so I got quite a bit done this morning while I was waiting for the lighting to improve. But today there's absolutely no lighting. I'm sorry, there's just like, the lighting is really bad. I should actually probably have switched on the overhead lights. Last week I mentioned that was cold but sunny weather, and that they had forecast rain but it hadn't arrived. Well, that came on Thursday. Friday it rained a bit, not too much. Yesterday was clear, at least here in Portugal. I was out and about the whole day in Port, and it didn't rain at all. During the night it started raining, and there's like a real low hanging cloud you could almost call it, it's basically, it's foggy outside. It's really grey, and I was hoping that I'd get a bit more lighting now towards the afternoon, but there isn't any, so that's what we have. Anyway, so I'm going to show you the shawl. You probably all know what it looks like anyway, so it's like the eyeball. And so last week I was working on this white section, and it's still my small, like, I think it's on my 60 centimeters, yeah, 60 centimeter cable needle. So I prefer working, even despite the number of stitches, I prefer working on the smaller circumference than on a larger needle size. So until I start binding off, this is all scrunched up. I'm not going to put this on like a bigger cable just to show, because it's a hassle to have to put it back on the smaller one. So I finished the first part of section 2, so that's all this white section here, and then I started the second part, which is identical to the first part, and up to here I have another 40 rows to do, but the rows are starting to get a bit longer now. Like I said, you add 4 stitches every other row, but I'm hoping to finish that today so I can start on the border section, which you can either do in garter stitch or you can do in brioche. I'm going to do the brioche. This is all I have left of the white. I used 35 grams on the first part of I had 80 grams when I started, because this is from the exploration station I did 3 years ago. So it counts for my stash busting cow, because I'm taking yarn from my stash. So I only had 80 grams when I started this project, thinking it might be enough, but might not be enough to complete the whole project, but that's okay. It's enough to do the two, so to do another whole section of this, because I only used 35 grams. Sorry. I only used 35 grams in that first part, and I had, sorry, I had 45 grams left when I started the second part, so I'm hoping to at least have 10 grams left, and I don't know if the 10 grams is going to be enough for the border, because I think I have about 20 plus rows to do for the border. And okay, I'm going to switch on the light because it's starting to get dark in here, so just a sec. I don't know if it's going to help much, but it's right overhead, so okay. So like I said, I don't know if this is going to be enough, but I was thinking the brioche section is done in the black and the white, but I might change it to the blue instead, seeing as that this is in the project. Or what I might do is take a fourth color, a gray, and do that in the gray, but we'll see when I get to there. I should, if I use 35 grams in the second part as well, I should have 10 grams left. I just don't want to start in the white and then have to do the last couple of rows in another color. So the border is definitely going to be done in black and in another color. I just haven't decided whether I'm going to use the blue that I used already, or if I'm going to use a gray. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. Scrunched up thing. This should stretch out to be quite a huge shawl, actually. I know from experience that this yarn, which I didn't mention what it was, by the way, but I have mentioned before. This is the Garn Studio Drops Lace. When it still came in like the 100 grams skein, now it comes in 50 gram balls, which I don't know if I'm too keen on. I really like the 100 gram skeins. You know, at least you wouldn't have to constantly be adding new yarn to a project. So, but I'm using stash yarn. I'm not buying any yarn for the moment. So yeah, that's it. That's what I have knitting wise to talk about. Might have noticed this. I got this at Tiger on Friday while I was at the mall, because if I'm drinking out my mug, even if it's just plain water, so it sticks his paw in there, he drinks from there, I have another like a mason jar kind of thing with a lid on it that has a straw. He pulls the straw out, or he thinks it's fun to play with the straw, and then he knocks the whole thing over, and the hole for the straw is slightly wider than the straw, so all the water comes out anyway. So I think I saw this at Tiger, and I thought, well, this is probably the best option, because the lid, it's like a closed one, so I can open it when I drink, and I can close it, and he doesn't play with it. So that's the best option, so I don't have water all over my table, and all over my knitting, which is right now usually where I leave my knitting. So that's it for today. I'm gonna check on my soup. I'll add photos in at the very end, and I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So bye.